Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom, and I am going to show you my premium steelbooks as of August 2024. Now admittedly most of them are Marvel, so I'm going to start with the non-Marvel ones first, and then we'll kind of go through what Marvel ones I've got at this time. But I want to kind of just address what is this premium steelbook first of all, because there's probably a little bit of debate what constitutes it. To me, it is a steelbook from certain companies such as Blufans, Manta, Film Arena, and ones that are numbered or produced in a limited quantity. There are sort of kind of releases like this, for example, which was from Zavvi, which is a collector's edition, but it's not numbered. It's kind of still kind of somewhat mass produced. I wouldn't count this. And even things like, for example, this Japanese version of Venom, which even has an exclusive actual steelbook. You know, it's still kind of, I would say, somewhat of a more mass-produced one. So I wouldn't class that as a premium personally. So let's go through what I do have that I do class as premium, even though, you know, there may be some people who consider those ones premium. Anyway, let's get started. We'll start off with the kind of the horror ones that I've got first of all. This is The Exorcist, and I believe this is from Black Barons, which is a subsidiary of Film Arena. This one is limited to 500 copies, as you can kind of see there. And it's a nice steelbook with various kind of books and things like that in there. Not all premium steelbooks necessarily have to have you know, books, and some of them, like you'll see as we go through, are just in J cards. Next up we have Annabelle Comes Home, which is from the Conjuring universe, and this again is from Black Barons, which is a subsidiary of Film Arena, and this one is actually open, so it's easier to show you in the way. And this is again limited to 500 pieces, and you know, you've got the card there and all the kind of the gumph in there. I'm a huge fan of the Conjuring movies. This next one I was kind of a little bit like, is this a kind of premium or isn't it? This is actually a French movie or collection of movies, the Terrifier films, the two of them, the two current ones, and the All Hallows Eve, which is the anthology which started the whole thing. And this is a French version that is limited there. It's by a company called ESC. Doesn't actually say how many it's limited to. So I would say it's maybe a little bit... maybe this one is not a premium one. I'm a little unsure with that one, to be honest. But I thought I would show it just in case. Next up we have Interview with the Vampire. And I believe this is a Korean one. I want to say this is Kimchidvd, and this is limited to 700 pieces. They don't always necessarily say, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Kimchidvd. Next up we have Krampus, which is a fun Christmas-themed horror film. And this, I think, is a Film Arena one, and that is limited to 750. We have Halloween, the 2018 movie. This is the a British company, Everything Blue, which now has kind of been sold to Zavvi. Again, this is kind of, it uses the standard steelbook, but just kind of it comes with this limited cards, limited to 600 and a few bits and pieces. Again, on the low end of the premium scale, I would suggest, but still probably a premium. World War Z, which I think is a Blufans one. Yeah, and that is limited to 500. Next up we have Tenebrae, which is a Black Label release. High Def Ninja, and I'm not quite sure how many there are produced on this one. It's number 73. Now for some more kind of action ones, I've got the G.I. Joe Retaliation, which again is a Blufans limited to 500. Zero Dark 30, which has this kind of green PET sleeve. This is from a company called Plain Archive, and this is meant to be like the night vision kind of thing. Limited to 2,000 copies. And now for some kind of science fiction ones. This is the Battlestar Galactica. This is the pilot episode, which is kind of feature length. And this is a company called Steel Archive, which doesn't exist anymore, which is a subsidiary of Koch Media, and that's limited to 200 pieces. So it's fairly kind of you know, low numbers in regards to its production. So yeah, it's pretty fun to have that. I have a few Terminator ones. This is a as you can see here, a lenticular cover to it, and I'm not quite sure who this is from, if I'm honest. I can't remember now. And it's limited to 1100 HD Zeta. There you go. Terminator Salvation with lenticular slipcase there. This is Kimchi, limited to 1500. And this is the, as I say, a J card, but still a premium release. And this is from Plain Archive. And sometimes I like getting the J cards because I kind of I prefer to display the actual picture of the actual steelbook rather than the kind of the case. And most of my Terminators are just sort of like that, so I wanted to get one that reflected it. So yeah, but it is still a premium, and that is limited to 500 copies. And then we have HD Zeta again, and this is Terminator Genesis, and that is limited to 400 copies. And then Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which I think is fairly sure it's Korean, although I don't know the actual company, to be honest with you. And now I'm looking at it, I can't see this has got a number, so maybe, again, questionable if that's actually a premium one. Okay, now to some Marvel bits. First up, we're looking at Ant-Man, and this is a Blufans lenticular. Let's see if we could find the details on it. No, I can't. I think it's behind there. Ant-Man and the Wasp. And that is limited to 1,300. I think that's wheat, this one, yeah. This is a Mondo Blufans one. So, yeah, Mondo did do this Blufans release for the original Avengers. And this is actually an unnumbered one, but it is technically it's a Blufans one, so we still count it. There is also this version, which is a numbered 1 to 2000. It's their kind of variant version with different colours. But again, it's a Blufans Mondo one for the original Avengers movie. Next up, we have Avengers Age of Ultron with the lenticular sleeve there. And who is this from? I think it is a Blufans one, I want to say. Next up, we have Novamedia, the original Avengers one. They did a kind of a bunch of releases for this one. So the original Avengers 58. And then we have, I got all of the versions of this one, which I don't really do these days. Again, Avengers from Novamedia with the Iron Man cover, and that is 58 out of 1,000. The Thor one. Again, 58 of 1,000. The Captain America one. Again, 58 of 1,000 from Novamedia. This is the Age of Ultron from Novamedia. And this is, again, it's a J-card one, but you have a lenticular magnet there. Novamedia actually put out two different Age of Ultron ones, and this is the more limited one, which is limited to 200, and mine's number 88. We have Avengers Infinity War, the single lenticular, and that is limited to 1250. Avengers Endgame, this is from Wheat with this kind of foiled slipcase there, and that is limited to 950. Next up we have this box set one click, and this is from a company called Fanatics, which I believe is a subsidiary of Blufans. We'll just quickly show you these two. There's two in here. So you have the double lenticular and the single lenticular, and these ones come together in this this box set, which is commonly known as a one click. So you'll get multiple versions of the same one, and this whole set is limited to 500. Next up we have Black Panther from Wheat. And I specifically liked this artwork, so I wanted to get this particular one, and that is limited to 1400. And then Blufans, we have just the J-card version. Again, because I like the artwork on that one, and that is limited to 700. And then we have Black Widow from a company called SM Life, which is a Chinese company. And they have this kind of foiled cover, but it isn't actually numbered, this one. So again, you know, arguably, is it a premium? Moving on to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is the Novamedia set, and I really like this design. Actually, it's one of my favourite slipcases. I just think that kind of really suits the tone of the film, and that is 490 out of 1,000. This is, again, I believe, Novamedia, and that's limited to 500 lenticular sleeve. And then we have the Kimchi, I think this is, yeah, Kimchidvd Winter Soldier, limited to 1500. And then we have Civil War. This is the Blufans full slip version, limited to 2000. The Civil War Captain America, this is the Wheat one, I want to say. Yeah, and that is limited to 500. And then the Novamedia Captain America Civil War, which is limited to 700, and that's like a foiled case. And then we have Captain Marvel, and this is from Wheat, and I just like this particular design with a helmet up. You don't see much of that in the film, and that is limited to 1150. And then we have Doctor Strange single lenticular from Blufans. I actually wanted to get the one with the J card on this one because I really like the actual steelbook on it. But this came up incredibly cheap, and I thought, wow, you know, it's silly not to pick it up for so cheap. So it would have been my preference to have just the J card one, but yeah, 700. That one's limited to. And then we have Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. And this one is a Manta lab. Now this is the start of a new trend that is the discless steelbooks. So they don't come actually with the actual films. You are literally buying just the case of the film. So I'll be honest with you, I don't want to spend loads of money on something that doesn't actually have the film on it. So I'm only picking these up if I see them for relatively cheap. I'm not going to be spending loads of money on discless releases, but I have picked up a couple which I've managed to get for a pretty good price, and that is limited to 1,250, of which mine is 807. I also got this version of it, the same kind of release but different sleeve, purely because I like the comic book aesthetic of this one. And again, this is a discless release from Manta Labs. And how can we find the number on this? I can't find the. I think this is actually produced in lower numbers than the last one, but I can't see where the number is on it. Anyway, so that's another Manta Labs one. Next up we have from SM Life, The Eternals. I wasn't a huge fan of this one, so again I'm not going to be spending loads of money on you know, posh editions for it. We have the Blufans double lenticular steelbook, the original one, and that is limited to 2,000. We have the Novamedia kind of cool kind of retro design here, and this is one of the first ones I think I got actually. 588 out of 700. I do like that case. We have another Blufans one, and this is the one with the J card. So this is the steelbook, the same steelbook that would have been in the other one I've just shown you. And that is limited to 800. And again, I kind of like getting these ones, to be honest. This one is from Novamedia. And it's a different steelbook compared to the other Novamedia one. This is like a second release one. And that is limited to 800 or 900. Can't quite see on there. Then we have another Guardians of the Galaxy from Novamedia. This is their initial one. And that is limited to 580. And then that's the Blufans Guardians of the Galaxy 2, again, just with the J cards. And, God, I'm trying to remember who these are from. I think this is from Wheat, and this is Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, limited to 1,300. The single lenticular from the Incredible Hulk, and I like this artwork the best because it was the most different from the original sort of artwork for it, so that's why I like that particular one, and that is limited to 750. And then we have the Incredible Hulk from Novamedia with lenticular, and that is limited to, oh god, I can't see, should I wear my glasses, 1,800 I think it is. And then we have the Iron Man J-card version from Kimchidvd. And I really like this picture. This one you can actually pick up relatively cheaply, but I think this is one of my favourite steelbooks. I think it's a great picture. And it's limited to 700. And then we have Kimchi again with a lenticular design here. And that is limited to 3,000. So we have the Blufans lenticular sleeve of the original Iron Man, limited to 3,000, which is one of the higher production numbers. So this is one of the earliest Blufans steelbooks. And then we have their, I guess, J card, technically speaking, and this is limited to 1,000. So then we have Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a Blufans double lenticular. And you can get a 4K and a Blu-ray version of this. This is the Blu-ray one. So then we have I think it is Film Arena, Spider-Man Homecoming. It isn't actually numbered. What Film Arena do, they'll produce a bunch that are numbered, and then a kind of like a limited amount that are unnumbered. So it's still technically only one of 500, but it's not individually numbered. And that is, again, it's just got a magnet effectively on that one to give that in particular. Then we have a Blufans edition for Far From Home, and this was called the Fan Edition, and you've got like a steelbook in there along with this kind of pin badge, and this one is actually a discless one, so no actual movie in this one. It's just a case. And then again from Film Arena, I believe, Far From Home, and again a lenticular one. This one is numbered, as you can see here, limited to 400. Then we have Spider-Man No Way Home Manta Lab one. This one is a discless one. This is actually, as of doing this video, this is the newest release. And that is limited to 1,000. Then we have the Thor original lenticular, and this was one of the kind of the earlier ones from Blufans, and this is limited to 1,300. I will say I think that that red colouring is a really good image of Thor there. And then we have Thor the Dark World, and I actually bought this directly when it came out from Kimchi, I believe this one is, and that's limited to 700. And then I think this is Wheat, and this is the Thor Ragnarok. That is limited to, God, I can't, the card's back to front, so I can't see. Yeah, but yeah, this is from Wheat. And then the Manta Lab one, again a discless one, Love and Thunder. Again, I managed to pick this up, I think it's like £20, so it wasn't a lot of money. I'm not spending loads of money on these discless ones, and that is limited to 1,000, I want to say. One Division, again a discless one from Manta Labs. Again, I managed to pick it up for fairly cheap. And then we have the Amazing Spider-Man. This is the lenticular version. And I've forgotten who this is from. I think it's Wheat, I want to say. And that is limited to 1,450. So we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is from Wheat, and this is the lenticular sleeve. I actually really like the artwork on that sleeve. I think it's actually one of my favourites, to be honest. And this one is limited to 1,450. This is a kind of a one-click box, and I'm not a huge fan of one-clicks, if I'm honest. I much prefer to have them singularly, but I like the artwork on this, so I wanted to get this one. And this is Film Arena, I believe, and this is limited to 700 pieces. This is a Manta Labs J-card with a lenticular magnet. And that's limited to 500. And I know I just said I don't like getting one clicks, but I actually got this one for really cheap because I wanted a specific release that was in here, and it was practically the same price as getting just the one, so I got this. So I'll quickly show you. So you get that one, and that's limited to 1,000. And this is the one I wanted. I wanted this, you know, the PG cut sleeve of it, and that, I say, it was getting the one click was practically the same price. So, and that is limited to 500. And then this one, again limited to 500, so 191 out of 500. And yes, you get the box and little booklet and stuff in there as well, so that's kind of fun. Next up, this is actually a German release, but I'm not sure who it's actually from. It's limited to 666. But yeah, so there you go, mystery one. Deadpool 2, and this is a Film Arena one. So this was an exclusive steelbook to them, the actual steelbook. And again, I preferred getting the artwork with this on the front rather than the kind of one with the sleeve. It's 1,000 copies, but unnumbered, this particular one. And then we have Film Arena Electra, and this is probably one of the more expensive ones that you can get because of its low run, 300. And they didn't make like loads of variants of this one. It was just this one, and that was kind of it. So yeah, the Electra one is pretty limited. I think this is Film Arena again, and this is the Fan 4-stick, limited to 500 with lenticular. And then we have the Kimchi Fan 4-stick one. That's limited to 300 with a nice foiled sleeve. And then we have Ghost Rider, which I have to say is one of my favourite images of Ghost Rider from the film. This is the Nicolas Cage original one, and this is again a Film Arena one, and that's limited to 750. Next up we have Logan, and this is kind of one of these sort of plus box set ones. And this is a Manta Labs one, and that is limited to 1100. And then we have another Logan with a lenticular front, and this one is, I think, Film Arena. And that's limited to 500. And then we have the OG Spider-Man, again the lenticular edition of it, and this is limited to 1,350, and this one's a wheat one. And then we have Spider-Man 2. I don't have Spider-Man 3, it's the one I don't have, and this again is a wheat one, and limited to 1,350. And then we have Venom Film Arena, and again this is a quarter slip, but it is the exclusive one, and as such is you know, produced in short numbers, so 500 but unnumbered. And then we have the Blufans, same thing, the quarter slip. I say I do prefer sometimes getting these quarter slips over the, you know, the kind of the slip case, and that's 12 of 500. And then we have the Black Barons, the Wolverine, and the Black Barons is a kind of subsidiary of Film Arena. And that is limited to 400. Next up we have a early Blufans release, and this is the original 3 X-Men trilogy movies plus Wolverine Origins. This set isn't all that fantastic, if we're being honest. But yes, it is an early Blufans kind of one click, but they didn't do them separately, so you could only get them in this box set. Then we have X-Men Age of Apocalypse, and I think this is a Manta Labs one, and that is limited to 500. And my current final one is the Film Arena X-Men Apocalypse, and that is limited to 1,000. So that concludes my current stack of premium steelbooks. Please do let me know what your thoughts are, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.